Hi guys, does everybody hear me, see my screen? Write in chat please. Okay, good. Wait a second. So let's start our webinar. My name is Ilya and I am a script trainer, and today we will speak about iRidium script and the iRidium script capabilities. So today we will speak about JavaScript and iRidium script basics, and we will have the second part of our webinar, and on the second part we will speak about drivers, and we will write drivers in real time. And today we will speak about iRidium basics and about JavaScript graphics and little animation. Our webinar duration is 2 hours, and then I will send to you webinar record and all other materials. It will be, I think, in a week. And when I will send to you files, additional files, I will send the tasks. And if you want to get a certificate, then you should done the tasks and send it to me. My email I write in the tasks document. So I think you will have 2 weeks for completing the tasks. Okay, you can write your questions in chat. I will answer on it. I think I will do it in the end of our webinar. Okay, so what is the iRidium script? Our team, our company take the basic JavaScript, we change it, and integrate it in our platform. So you can create some static interface in iRidium Studio. You can create some static drivers, and in iRidium Studio then you can open iRidium script editor and customize it. So what you can do with iRidium script? Look at the presentation. So first of all, you can change or create the graphical user interface. I mean, you can create your own items, customize them, then you can animate them, you can delete them, you can change the properties on any graphical item. Then you can work with sound files, so you can upload the sound file to your iRidium project, and in JavaScript, in the iRidium script, it is the same things. You can play that file or stop it. Then you can create or change drivers. For example, your customer wants to control his TV, but you can't find the driver on our website. So you can create your own driver. It is not hard. Or another example, your customer has a device and he wants to control it, and you find the driver on our website. You can customize it. You can add more commands or delete unused commands. You can customize the feedback from the device, and you can put that feedback on your user interface. And all the things you can do with JavaScript. And the last thing, you can work with tokens. The tokens, it is iRidium global variables. For example, in your project, your customer should enter the password for using the project. And when he enters the password, you want to save that password between many sessions. I mean, your customer should enter the password one time, then he want to close iRidium, turn off iPad, open it again. Start iPad again, open iRidium, and he should not enter the password again. You should save the password in files on the panel and load it every time when your customer opens the application. So you should get the password from edit box in scripts and save it to token. So the token create a file in panel file system, and when your customer opens the application again, your JavaScript should load the password from file and put it on your authentication system. So, what is the general logic of our iRidium JavaScript? It has 3 items. The first item, it is user interface. So you create the interface in iRidium Studio or in scripts. Then we have the special function named listener. We will speak about listener in the middle of our webinar. But now I can say that the listener, it is like a spy. So when you create listener, you should say to iRidium, iRidium, you should watch on that item, and when the user press on it, so iRidium, you should do that things, that actions. So it's that construction named listener. And the actions. For example, I have the interface, and in that interface I have the button. I create the listener and I say to it, so listener, when my user press on the button play, then you should call the media server driver and activate the command play song, for example. Okay, and now it was a basic construction of iRidium script, and now let's watch on script interface, script editor interface. Script editor located in our iRidium Studio or iRidium editor. First of all, you should create new project, and then in main screen you can see the orange button with text.js. You should press on it, and then let's do it. Open new project, find the JS button, press on it, and now you can see the script editor. So what is the interface of script editor? It consists of 3 parts. The first part, it is the left part. It is a script module part. So every script you can put on each script module file. It is like a text file on your personal computer. So you can create the module file with the name drivers, for example, and in that module file you can write your own drivers, for example. Then you should create a new module file and call it, for example, interface. and in that file you should write all JS code for your user interface. And when you save your project and integrate it on your object, and when the customer call to you after a few months and say that you should update or modify your project, you open it, you open the scripts, and you can locate where you write the driver's code or where you write the interface code. So what we can do with module files? Sure, we can create it. Press the green plus, and here we can find 3 buttons. The first button is create new script. Press on it, and now you can see the window, and you should enter the name of your module file here, for example, drivers. Here it is. Now I can write here my own driver for customer devices, for example. Then press a green plus again, press new script, and let's write the name, for example, Joy. And now we can see the second module file or JS file. And now here we can write the code for our interface. Wait a second. Okay. So then, what else? We can open the Reddit.js module from our personal computer. For example, in my first project I create a driver for XBMC. Then the second customer wants to control XBMC too. So I don't want to write XBMC driver again. I can open my project with XBMC driver. I can save it to my file, to my computer, and in the all next projects I can open this file and connect it to my project. For that task I should use the button and script from file. When I press on it, I can see all my directories on my personal computer. I should select the file and press open. And then this file opens in iRidium Studio in my current project. So what else? I can add new folder and put on it in it few module files. For example, I have the module file for my TV. Then I have a module file for my media server, and for climate. Okay, here I write the code, here I write my own driver for all these devices, but I create a very big project. In this project I have many scripts, many module files, and it is not useful. So I can create a folder. I can call it, for example, drivers, and I can put my module files in this folder. So it is simple. And now in this project I have many folders, and I know what script files put it on each folder, and I can find this code. I can find my driver, and it is simple. Okay, what next? Next, I can delete my module file. So I should select one of them and press the delete button. Okay. Okay. Then I can change the hierarchy of my module files. I can put each module files. I can move it up or down. So then, for example, I create a driver, and I want to set password. So how can I do it? Select the file and press set password button. Now iRidium asks me to enter the password. I will enter it, press OK, and when I or somebody else opens this project on iRidium Studio, Studio asks to enter the password. If I don't know the password, I can't open this file, and I can't see or change the JavaScript in this file. Okay, what else? I can rename my file. It is a standard function. Then I can save my file to my personal computer if I want to use it again, for example. Here it is. Then I can open or close my script helper, and it is the last function for script module interface. And now let's see, let's watch on the second part of script editor. It is the code editor. So when I select each module file, here I can write the code for this module file. And what can I do in this part? First of all, I can save my code with the save button. Then I can find some string, some substring in all my JS file. For example, I want to find test substring, and iRidium find it. And in the find menu, in the find panel, I can I can check the option show all modules, and now iRidium will search the substring in all module files. Here it is. It is the first and the second. Okay, what else? It is a standard under and reader functions. Then I can start the emulator for testing my JavaScript. When I press the emulator button, iRidium opens iRidium client for Windows, and I can test my project with all my scripts. Okay, then the next button, it is color picker. For example, I have a button, for example, play button, and I want to change the color of my button. In iRidium, we should write the color in as a hex code. So I should write 0x0ff6d and next. But I don't know what is the hex code for red color, for example. So what should I do? I should set the cursor in the place where I want to write the hex code. Then I press the color button, color picker, and select the color. Here it is, for example. Press OK, and iRidium automatically generates the hex code and put it all, on the selection. Oh, it is OK. And the last function in interface, it is functions combo box. For example, I have a function test, and I have the function play and stop. And my file is very big, for example, and I want to find my function. I want to do it very quick. So I open my functions combo box, and here I can see the names of all my functions. I select the one of them, and the iRidium find it. Okay. So it is the end for coder editor, and the last scene, the last part, it is the iRidium helper. So what it is? Our team gets the basic JavaScript. We delete some things from the basic specification, and we add some new things. Some of us don't know JavaScript, and some of us don't remember all iRidium functions. And for example, me, I don't want to open the iRidium documentation and search the functions in it. So what can I do? For example, I want to create a button via script. So I can use a script helper. I open the iRidium API folder. And here I see many other folders. If I want to create the button, so it is a GUI API, I open it, and here I can find functions and events. The create, it is a function. The creating, it is a function. So I open functions folder, and here I can find all GUI API functions. I can press on it once, and in the bottom menu I can see the description of this command. I read it, and I understand that it is I want to use this function, and then I press I double click on that function, and iRidium automatically put it to the selection. So now I should only change the input variables, for example, the x coordinate, y coordinate, width and height. And it is all. The second example, I have a button, for example. I created in iRidium Studio, and I want to change the opacity, for example, via scripts. But I don't remember the name of my button, I don't remember the page, and I don't remember the property name of opacity. So what can I do? I can open GUI folder in script helper, then select the page, select the item, select the state, find the opacity property, double click on it, and iRidium automatically generate the command. And now I should set the new value. And it is all. It is simple. So let's go further. Okay, and now let's speak about listeners. As I said earlier, the listeners, it is a special function. It is like a spy. We should, when we create new listener, we should say to it that listener, you should watch on this button or driver or some system event, and when the user press on the button or activate the driver or open the application, it is a system event, then listener should do some actions. So if you want to create new listener, we should use add listener command, and this command has 3 input parameters. The first parameter, it is the event type, so it is the event at which the function is performed. And iRidium has some groups of API. It is a system group, so it is some system API such as application start or application end. It is timers. It is a listener. It is a create or removing the listener. Then we have GUI group. In this group, we can create items or change it or delete it. Then we have drivers group. In this group, we can create new drivers, send the commands to our devices. We can get the feedback from devices and parse it. And on our webinar, I say to you, and I will tell you about the commands for each group. So the first group, it is a system group, and for system group we have the several events for listener. It is a event start, so this event is activated at the application launch. The next event, it is the event work. The event is activated when the application is running, and this event stops working when your user close the application, iRidium application. The next event, it is the event exit. So this event is activated when user exiting from the iRidium application. The next, it is the event orientation. So this event activated when the user change the device orientation, and this event works only on mobile platforms such as Android or iOS. So it is doesn't work on Windows or the Mac. And the last event for system group, it is the event keyboard show. So the event is activated when the user opening the keyboard. As the previous, this event works only on mobile platforms. It doesn't work on Windows or Mac. So let's write script. Let's do some practice. Let's create new project, open the script editor, and create new script file. Okay, we have a task, and the task is iRidium should print in the log the string hello world on application start. So if we want to use the system event application start, so we should create the listener. Write the command and listener, and the first input parameter, it is the application event type. And in our task, we should use the event start. Let's write it, event start. Then the second parameter, it is the reference to item. For example, if I create listener and I want to do some actions when the user press on the button, so in reference to item, I should write the link to my button. The link, it is page name and item name. But in our task, we have not item. We should print substring on application start. And in that example, and when you want to use the system group, we haven't the item, we can't write the reference, so we should write a 0. And the last input parameter, it is our function. In that function, we will write the actions that iRidium will do when the event begin. So, in the third input parameter, write our function, and as I say, iRidium should print the string in the log. For printing something in log, we have a command log, and in that command we should print our string. And now let's start the emulator and see what we have. Here it is, iRidium Studio start the emulator, and in the log we can see the string hello world. If you want to open the log, so you should open in main window, tools, then options, show in tab, emulator tab, and here you can see the checkbox show log at emulator start, and you can check it. So okay, we done our example, and now let's modify it. I want to print the string every time signs iRidium start, iRidium application. So I should create a new listener. The event will be event walk. Then in second parameter I should write 0 because I haven't the item, and the function. And in function I should enter the command, the action write in log string hello world. Start the emulator again. And now iRidium print my string every time, and it is okay. Okay, what next? Excuse me. And now let's speak about timers in iRidium script. In iRidium we have two timers. The first timer, it is a set timeout. So this function is used for run a function when the time delay. And the second, the set interval, this function is used for cycle with a given recurrence interval. For example, we have a new task. I want to print my string hello world in 2 seconds after application starts. So we should write start listener, and after it we should create a timer. Set timeout. This timer has two input parameters. First input parameter, it is a time. It is a time delay, and you should enter it in milliseconds. So if we want to print our string in 2 seconds, so we should write 2000 milliseconds. The second input parameter, it is a function in which we will write the actions. So write a function, and in this function we should write log command with string hello world. Let's open the emulator. Okay, as we see, iRidium client starts in this time, and in 2 seconds iRidium print the string. So it is a timer. And the second timer, as I said, it is a set interval timer. For example, I have a task. I want to print my string every 2 seconds while iRidium application works. So in start listener I should create set interval timer. This timer has two input parameters. It is a delay in milliseconds and the function. Okay, the first input parameter will be 2000 milliseconds. Then we should write the function, and in the body of the function we should write the log command with our string. Now let's start the emulator, and as we see, iRidium prints the string every 2 seconds, as we wish. Okay, what next? Sometimes I want to delete the timer. And how can I do it? For that task I should use a clear interval command, and this function is used for stopping and deleting delay for the set timeout and set interval functions from the random access memory. This function has one input parameter. It is the ID. It is the identifier of the set timeout and the set interval functions. So let's write some code. For example, I have the set interval timer, and this timer prints the string every 2 seconds. And I want to delete this timer if I press on that button. So we should create a listener with even start. Then we should create our timer, and then we should create new listener for button press. How can I do it? Create new listener, and the first input parameter, as you remember, it is event type. And now we should use event item press. So we tell that iRidium somebody should press on this button. Then we should write the reference to our item. The reference it is page and item name. So let's write iRidium get page 1 and then get item 1. Then write our function, and in this function we should delete, we should clear our interval. And as you remember, we should enter the identifier of our timer. So how can we get it? Let's create a global variable ID, and when we create our interval, let's write that ID variable equal to our set interval. So it is a construct function in iRidium, and when you activate it, this function return its identifier to this variable. And when we want to stop the timer, we use clear interval command and write here our variable with timer ID. So start the emulator. And we has mistake. Yes, every mistake iRidium write in debug menu in log. So the mistake in scripts in 13 line. Here it is. Start the emulator again. And now we write script good, and iRidium print our string every 2 seconds. But if we press on the button, iRidium stops it. So we clear that, we delete our timer. Okay, choose the timers. Okay, with log functions, we use it. So with this function, we can print some information in debug. We can print string, or we can print the value of some variable. It is easy. What else can we do in system group? I mean, what functions we can use in system group? We can use exit function, and this function closes the app. For example, if your customer don't pay you, you can write the script that will connect to the cloud, to your cloud, and if on your cloud that trigger of that project will be not paid, then iRidium should close the application on the customers panel. Then the next function, it is execute. So you can start other programs with this function. For example, I want to open the calculator when I start the iRidium. Use execute command and write the name of the program. Start the emulator. iRidium Studio opens the emulator, and the emulator starts the calculator. What can we do with this function? For example, we have a customer, and we want to create a button. On this button we put the picture with our logo, and when somebody, for example the guests of our customer, press on that logo, iRidium should open the browser with our website. So we create a button in iRidium Studio, then we create a listener with the press event and the reference to our item, and in actions we should write execute 3w, for example iridiummobile.net. Start the emulator. And iRidium client opens the browser with my website. So it is very useful thing. Okay, and the last thing in system group, we can open the keyboard. For example, our customer should enter the password. We create the item, and the type of this item will be edit box, and when the customer press on the edit box, iRidium should open the keyboard. And so for that task we should use add listener command with event press on our edit box. It should be a reference, and in actions we should write show keyboard and enter the value of keyboard. The value of keyboard, it is a keyboard type. For example, it can be general keyboard or numeric or symbols keyboard, and other. Mobile operating systems has many types of keyboards, and you can use all of them. Okay, next. The next we should watch on GUI API. With this API we can create graphical items, we can delete any graphical items, we can refer to items and change their properties. We can create listeners assigned to graphical items. We can open and close pages and pop-ups. And the first item, the first command, it is the CreateItem. For example, we have a customer, and the customer don't know how many media players he will have on his home, in his home. So in our iRidium project we write on JavaScript the media player scanner, and our scanner find 3 media players. So in that case we should create 3 driver examples and the 3 pop-ups, for example, with the controlling interface for this device. And when we will create our interface, we should use CreateItem function. How can we do it? In some listener, for example, in find device listener, we should write CreateItem command, and this command has the next input parameters. The first input parameter is a item type. So iRidium has many item types, graphical item types. It can be pages, pop-ups, buttons, triggers, multi-state buttons, up, down buttons, levels, multi-state levels, edit boxes, joysticks, virtual keys, all the full list of items you can find in our documentation. iRidium is a very powerful tool, and you can create any graphical item. So it was the first input parameter, item type, and the second input parameter, I'm sorry, it is the item name. So you should enter the name of your graphical item. For example, it is a button play. Then you should enter the coordinate X and coordinate Y. Then you should enter the item width and item height. I'm sorry for my presentation. So it is very simple. If you want to create the item, you should say to iRidium that you want to create the button with the name play that should locate it on coordinates, and this item has this width and height. So let's write code. I like write code. We haven't any buttons in our project, and I want to create the button on application start. So what should I do? I should write a listener with type event start, and in actions I should write IR CreateItem. Then it should be item button, the type. The name should be play. The coordinates will be 100 and 100. The width should be 500 and the height should be 10. Start the emulator. Here it is. So we create a black button. If you want to customize it or create some, if you want to do this button beautiful, we should change its properties. So how can we change properties for any item? I mean, we can create item in JavaScript, and we can create item in iRidium Studio, the static item. If we create item in JavaScript, so we can create a variable and, for example, button, and equal it to our command. And then we should call our variable and change some properties. If we want to change properties in statical, in static item, so we should call this item. How can we call it? Such as in graphical listeners. So we should use getItem command. So we tell to iRidium get item with the name page1. In first time we should use the page or pop-up name. Then we tell iRidium get item with the name item1. And then iRidium you should get the height property and set it to 600. Start the emulator, and as we see, our button change its height. Okay, as you know, all buttons or other graphical elements has many states. For example, the button. The button has two states, unpressed state and pressed state, and each state has its own properties, and sometimes we want to change the property for each state. So how can we do it? First of all, we should call our item, then we should use command getState and enter the state number. And iRidium script, it is a programming language. In all programming languages, the first state and the first number, it is a 0. So if we want to change the property for first state, we should enter the 0. Then press dot and select the state property. For example, opacity. I want to set the opacity 100. Start the emulator. And as you see, opacity of our buttons changed. So it is simple too. iRidium script, it is a very simple programming language. It's not hard. Okay. Then we can delete item, and as in timers, we should get the identifier of our button. What is the identifier? For example, I want to delete my item, my static item. I use delete item command, and when I want to call my button, I should use my calling functions. Here it is. Start the emulator, and as you see, iRidium delete my button. Okay, I think it is simple too. What else we can do in GUI group? We can use the pages count command. This command is used to get the count of pages in a project. Then we can get the pop-ups count. If we want to know how many pop-ups our project has, then we can get the reference for the current page. So it is a page that the user opens at this moment. Okay, the next, show pop-up function. So if you want to open some pop-up in our project, so we write the show pop-up command, and in that command we should write the name of our pop-up. Then we can open the page with the command show page, and we can hide page and hide pop-up with the name, or we can hide all pop-ups. It is very simple function. I don't see the examples for it, but sometimes it can be very useful. Okay, what listeners, what events for listeners can we use in GUI group? We can use event item press. So the listener is activated when an item is pressed. Then event item release. The listener is activated when an item is released. Then event item change. You should use this event with edit box. So when the user press the password, for example, in the edit box, then the listener call the functions with the event type, event item change. Then event mouse down. The listener is activated when an item is clicked with the mouse. Then event mouse up. The listener is activated when an item is clicked with the mouse, clicked up. Then event mouse move. The listener is activated when an item is clicked with the mouse and the mouse is moved. Then event touch down. The listener is activated when an item is pressed with the finger. Then event touch up. The listener is activated when an item is released with the finger. So it is, I speak about touch screens. Then event touch move. The listener is activated when an item is pressed with the finger and the finger moves. Why we create many items? One, we create the event for touching and for mouse. For example, you have a big project, and if you open this project, if you use this project on your personal computer, then iRidium should send some debug information in the log, because it is service works on the personal computer. But if iRidium starts on mobile platform with touch screen, then it is our customer works with our project, and iRidium should not do any debug scenes. So for this task you should use mouse events and touch events. But if you don't want to use debug mode or release mode, you can use event item press, event item release, and these events activated on a personal computers and on touch screens. Okay. What new you can use in iRidium 3.0? We add some new events. It is the event item and hold. So the listener is activated and the end of holding a graphical item. For example, if the user holds the button, you want to show pop-up. But if the user stops holding this item, you want to hide this pop-up. So for that task, you should use the event hold and the event end hold. Then the next new event, it is the event item lost focus. The listener is activated when any item is released, and this function works together with release and end of hold. For example, wait a second. Wait a second, please. I have a iRidium interface, and I have a list. Here it is. So I can press on a button, then I can move my finger from this button and release it. So in this case, event press will works, but event release does not activate it, because I release my finger not on this button, and it's sometimes it is bad. For example, if my customer press on the button, I change the graphical state of this button. Or, as example, I press and my list item change the state. And when my customer release, I want to send the command, for example, to my device. But in that case, my customer press on a button that the button change the state, then the customer move finger from the button and release it. So my command iRidium doesn't send the command, and in that case I should use item lost focus. My customer press on a button, then move a finger and release it, and iRidium activates the listener item lost focus. It is a new feature in iRidium 3.0. Let's write some example, I think. For example, I have a button. Here it is. And I have the pop-up. It is a red pop-up. When I hold this item, iRidium should open pop-up, and when I end hold the item, iRidium should close this pop-up. So I should write two listeners. The first listener, it is event item hold. Oops. And the reference to the item should be get item page 1, get item 1. The function, and in the function I said that iRidium, if my customer holds the item 1, then you should show pop-up 1. Then I create the second listener. Oops. Guys, does you hear me? Guys, write in chat, please. Yes. So let's continue. Okay. So then I should create the second listener. The event type of this listener should be event item and hold. The reference should be the item 1. The third parameter should be a function, and the action should be IR height pop-up 1. Let's start the emulator and test it. Here it is. Hold iRidium opens pop-up and hold iRidium height pop-up. So it is simple, and it is a new feature in iRidium 0.0. Okay. Okay, what else? In iRidium 3.0, we can work with clipboard. For example, our customer should enter the password in iRidium application, but he don't remember the passwords, and he writes them in his notes on iPad. So now he can open the notes, select the password, copy it to clipboard, and then paste it to edit box. For that task, we should use the next commands. The first command is a paste from clipboard. So as you understand, iRidium gets information from clipboard and put it on edit box. That's the next command, get clipboard. iRidium gets the information from clipboard and put it in variable in JavaScript, and then we can work with this information from clipboard. The third function, it is a show paste helper. It is such as in every mobile application. We have the edit box, and when the user hold it, the iRidium will show the button with paste name, and it is button, and when user presses this button, then iRidium gets information from clipboard and put it on edit box. And the last command, it is a copy to clipboard. For example, iRidium write some message to your customer, and customer can copy it to clipboard and paste in Skype, for example, and send it to you, to his integrator. Okay, and in GUI group, we can clone the item. As I said earlier, sometimes we don't know how many devices users will have on his home, and create many buttons play, create and change their properties. It is very useless, and for that task we can create only one item for create function with the help of create function, change their properties, and then we can clone this item as another exemplar. So what else we can do new in 3.0? We can load notifications. As you know, in all mobile application, when you close application and application want to tell you something, send notification, for example, on iPad, the user can see the red circle with the number of notification, and when he opens the application showing some message and clear notification bar. So how can we work with it in iRidium? We should use send notification command. Now it's working only for iOS devices. Guys, does you hear me? Write in chat. Yes. Okay, I think it is some problems in platform. Guys, does everybody hear me? Okay, I see. Okay, let's continue. For sending notification, we should use send notification command, and this command has some input parameters. The first parameter it is the text of notification. The second, it is the delay in notification appearance. And here you should write it in seconds. Then the third input parameter it is sound ID. If you write here 0, then it will be no sound. 1 it is a standard iOS notification sound, and the 2 it is a standard iOS ringtone. Then the next input parameter it is the batch increment number. So how to increase the number of notification over the app icon. For example, it will be 1, next notification it will be 2, 3, 4, 5, and other. And the second command for notification is a clear notification. You should write clear notification command and iRidium clearing notification from the app. Okay, next. The next, let's speak about sound APIs. As I said earlier, you can get sound file, put it on iRidium project, and in scripts you can play that sound, you can stop it. So if you want to play sound file, you should use the play sound command. And this command has 3 input parameters. The first input parameter it is the name of sound file, for example, alarm.mp3. The next input parameter it is the slot number. What is slots? For example, our customer said that he wants background music in his project, but when something happens, for example fire, then background music should stop and iRidium should play the alarm sound file. In that case, we should play background music in first slot, for example, and play alarm sound file in first slot too. In this case, iRidium stop the previous sound file in slot and start playing the alarm file. But we can have other case. Our customer wants to hear background music file, and something happens. Background music doesn't stops, and iRidium play alarm sound file in parallel. So in that case, we should play background music in first slot and then play alarm file in second slot, for example. And the volume it is a basic volume property on every device. And when you use play sound command, you must use only first input parameter, it is file name. If you don't want to write slot number and volume, you can write nothing here, and iRidium puts the default parameter. The slot number will be 0 and the volume will be 100%. So the next command in sound group, it is a stop sound with file name. So if you want to stop playing background music, you should write ir.stopSound, and input parameter will be background music.mp3. Sometimes you don't know the name of music file that playing at that moment. In that case, you can use stop slot command. So you write ir.stopSlot, and the input parameter will be the slot number, for example 0 or 1 or 2. And the last command, it is ir stop all sounds. In this case, iRidium stops playing all sounds. So it is simple. Okay, then let's speak about gestures. In iRidium, we can use gestures on iPads, iPhones, Android devices, on all mobile platforms. For using gestures, you should do the two steps. The first step, you should register one type of gesture, and then you should create listener with the event gesture begin, and in this listener you should write the name of your gesture and write the actions for each. For example, first of all, I should register my events. I have gesture to the left, to the right, up, down, clinch, unclinch, long press, and double tap. In my project, I want to use swipe left, swipe right, swipe up, and swipe down. So first of all, I should register it. So I write ir add, add recognize a command, and that command has one input parameter, it is ir gesture swipe left, for example. Then I register the second recognizer swipe right, the next swipe up, and swipe down. After it, I should create a listener with the event gesture begin. Then I should write the referer to my item. In this case, the item is a page. And if I want to use gestures only on one page, I should write getItem and the name of my page. But sometimes customer wants to use gestures on all project pages and pop-ups. And if we have 100 pages, so we should create 100 listeners, and it is useless. So in this case, you can use IR current page command. So iRidium sees that you want to use gestures on a page that opens in current moment. So it is a hack. And the third input parameter, it is a function, and this function has three input parameters. The first input parameter, it is a gesture type that user done. The second input parameter, it is the x coordinate and the y coordinate. Let's write it. Okay, and now we should write the actions for each gesture. For example, I should use the basic JavaScript construction switch, and I should write the same this thing. If the user done the swipe left, then I should, for example, play next song. Previous break. And if my customer done swipe right, then the project should play next song. And in the same way, I should write about all gestures. And iRidium will find that my customer done some gesture. iRidium finds the gesture type and do that actions. And this thing works only on mobile platforms, not on Windows. So it is the end of our webinar, and now I can ask on all your questions. The first question: is it possible to hide a pop-up group when pressing a button? You should hide each pop-up. So if you want to hide 10 pop-ups, you should use hide pop-up command 10 times. Okay. Guys, does you have any questions? I will send to you the materials, and in these materials, as I said earlier, you will find the tasks, and in that file you can find my email, and if you will have some questions, you can write me and I answer on it. Okay, so thank you for attention. Let's end our webinar, and I wait all of you on my driver webinar. Thanks for attention, guys. Wait a second. The question, do you have a manual with all commands to be used in Studio? Yes, of course, you can open our website. Wait a second. Support section, documentation, JavaScript, and here you can find all commands for iRidium. Webinar platform has very strange asks chat. Wait a second, I can't understand it. The question, can we execute one URL inside the iRidium? Like, you can open, you can execute the URL in iRidium such as a website. For example, in listener start, for example, or button press. You can use the execute function, and in this command, in the input parameters, you should enter the URI scheme for your application. The manual for URI schemes you can find on our Wikipedia. And in the same way, you can open any scene or any app, for example, 3w iridiummobile.net. Yes, but I don't want to call URI scheme and close iRidium. No, we can't. We haven't integrated web browser. I think it will be soon. We works on it. Okay, other questions? Yes, we will do it. We works on it right now. Okay, guys. So all other questions, write on my email. I will send it to you soon. And now let's end our webinar. So bye bye, guys. Thanks for your attention.